Okay, let's talk about triggers a little bit, and this is something that we talk a lot about when it comes to trauma because your body responded to something that was a reminder of the past. We've all heard the word, we've all used the word, and this is another one that I think gets abused a lot. People use this term out of context and they give it way more weight than it should in some instances, because then I think what it does is it waters down the actual trigger for a lot of people who have been in truly traumatic situations. So let's look at it a little bit deeper. A trigger is a reminder of something that evokes and elicits a very strong response in the body, okay, like a strong emotional or mental response. And they are for very specific situations. So, for instance, let's say you um, let's say you make a decision one day that you don't like chocolate. Okay, you just decide one day that you don't like chocolate because you don't like the way it tastes. And then you go out and somebody starts talking about chocolate, and you start getting all worked up and upset because somebody's talking about chocolate. That is not a trigger. What a trigger is when you have had something happen, something traumatic, something very specific, and then later down the road, something else reminds you, whether consciously or subconsciously, of this event, and your body responds as if it is in that event again because it didn't finish the process the first time. So it tries to finish the process this time. Every time you are prevented from completing a process emotionally, physically, from a traumatic experience, your body's going to keep trying to finish it until it actually does. And that's what a trigger is. When we're in toxic cycles, after a toxic relationship, we are very commonly exposed to triggers over and over again because we've not completed that process. When you're able to understand your own, the things within you that are eliciting these responses, and you understand it yourself, and you can understand yourself, and you can understand the situation and make that connection, that distinction, it gives you power over the situation, and the response becomes weaker and weaker and weaker because have you ever heard the term knowledge is power? It is absolutely true. You take the power away from the trigger when you understand and you can be back in control of it. So if you look at the model down below, we have I like wheels. We have another wheel, and at the top we have the stress trigger. This is the thing that happens. So let's say let's say in your toxic relationship, you were told that you're not pretty. Okay, let's say that this person repeatedly told you that you're not good looking, that you're ugly, that you're not pretty, something along those lines. Maybe criticize the way that you look a lot. All right, so that's the original event up over here. Later on down the road, you're not in that relationship anymore. Maybe you're in a very healthy relationship, but this person says something that is maybe said with the same words or with the same tone or maybe the same look, or maybe it's the same outfit and they say something that's a little off. Something is similar in that particular new event that reminds your brain of the original event, whether maybe it was something that was consistent that happened over and over and over, but something happened that reminded your brain of what happened the first time. Now you've been triggered. And what happens is we then have a trigger response. The trigger response, it could be we start ruminating, we could start having a negative self talk, start talking really badly to ourselves, we could start moving in a very people pleasing way, we could start communicating in a very people pleasing way, so trying to please this person. Maybe we change our clothes, maybe we do whatever we can to change our looks so that this person is now happy so that we don't get our feelings hurt again. Or maybe we go eat some food. Maybe we go stuff our face with chocolate or a cheesecake or a cheeseburger or something, which is my personal favorite. Maybe we start going and doing something, or maybe we smoke, or maybe we drink, or maybe we do whatever it is that gives us comfort. That is the trigger response. It is the answer to the thing that happened. It's your body's way of trying to fix the problem. That's what the response is your body's way of trying to fix it. Quite often, like with these toxic cycles, what is happening is this is a learned response that we had that somewhere along the way it was validated. Somewhere along the way it made us feel better. It fixed the problem at some point. Or we strongly believed that it did. It's been reinforced somehow. Now we have the effect of the response. This is where it gets reinforced again. So this is, our mood gets boosted. This person changes the thing that they say, and they all of a sudden now they're complimenting us, or they're saying something that makes us feel better, or our energy is boosted. We get validated or confirmed somehow after this trigger response. So then when we've been validated, or we have this effect of the response, now we have the consequence of the response. And this is going to be where we, on the back end of things, we start self-loathing, we regret, we have anxiety, we're ruminating, we have shame, or there's some kind of physical crash, like maybe if it was a substance, if it was food or alcohol or drugs or something, we have a physical crash as a result of the response. But, and then there is it circles back around to where it never got actually resolved. So the next time it happens, we're going to go through that same cycle again. And we never exit the cycle. And so what we're doing in this course is finding, and if you are getting coaching with me as well, this is added support for exactly what I'm saying here, is we are looking for that exit door. We're looking for the exit sign on how to get out of this cycle. We're going to stay in it if we don't change find the break and find that exit. So that's what we're going to go through in some of these other lessons. So what this is going to take is a level of self-awareness. We have to become self-aware in order for us to even know that we're having this response. Think about it for a second. If you just go throughout your life and you are just allowing the ocean to wash you up on the shore, and you are never standing up and on your 2 feet and walking, you're just going to stay being crashed around. But you have to have the wherewithal to stand up, look around, see that you are planted in the breakers. So of course you're going to keep getting knocked down, because look at where you're at. You've got to have the wherewithal to have that self-awareness, to see what needs to change so that you can get out of the breakers and walk up onto dry land. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take an actual trigger. We're going to write it down. And I want you to walk through it. We're going to break the negative loop. Okay, that's what we're going to do. But we also have to break the belief. Because somewhere along the way, we learned that the response that we have is going to fix the problem. So we have to change the belief that that's true. When we're able to change the belief that that's true, we're going to make a little bit more progress. Because if you keep thinking that, yeah, I'm going to do this, but I know that that was the answer, how motivated are you going to be to sustain this change? So you need to understand that what you were doing before was not working, so that you need to look at the whole cycle. So we're going to write down the trigger, write down your response, go through what happened after the response, and the consequence of staying in it, of not changing. And I need you to see that this trigger response is harmful, detrimental, and is keeping you trapped. Now we need to change and see, okay, what can I do differently? And again, like I said, this is going to take self-awareness, because you need to be able to see when it's happening so that you can do something in the moment. So we're both practicing beforehand and in the moment. So looking at understanding what you can and cannot control helps you understand, I can't control this, but I can influence it. I can't change it, I can't influence it, so I need to walk away. Or maybe I can change it. Understanding the three buckets of control, understanding the event, the triggers, the responses, the consequence, all those things, and finding the place for the interjection with how do I want to believe, how do I want to perceive this, what do I want to do differently, what can I do differently. Stand on the sidelines, look at the greater picture, and observe it from the sidelines for a minute. Bystander. What do you think can be done differently? Download the belief resource down below and complete that activity, and I will see you in the next one.